right.
All right, I have a caller, Reverend Dr. Lola Ekoyi. So, what would you like to know? Ask me about the video that you just saw.
Good morning. I'm calling from Lagos in Nigeria. My name is Reverend Dr. Lola George Akoke. I actually just woke up from sleep anyway. I've listened to the video and I see that it's a good step in the right direction, and I pray that the whole thing works out. I pray that Emmanuel Girl sponsors this dream. It's a great dream, and spiritually it's going to help a lot of people to come out of what I'll call ignorance and the bondage that they have been in for years. It's going to help the Black community to also be able to see light and come out of certain things that they have been caged in for years. It's actually going to bring light to a lot of people. The movie is going to also liberate. That is, if people can't read the book through the movie, they can get the perspective, and we can see changes in the society. Actually, it's a good step in the right direction, like I said, and I pray that the whole thing works out. So I'm going to congratulate everyone that's going to be part of this, because everyone who is going to be part of this will definitely be part of molding destinies for better. All right.
Hey man, hold on now. Just a moment. Before you go, I do want to say too, this organization is not just going to be beneficial for Black America, but also is going to be beneficial for Africa as well. Only reason why I'm trying to start it here in America first is because this is where I'm at, and I see a whole lot of. I would just want to say that the inner cities here in America are just horrible, especially here in Chicago, and that's unacceptable. I grew up in those environments, and it was very uncomfortable. But I thank the Lord again for allowing me to make the right choices in life. You know, I desire to go to school. I desire to want to challenge myself. And most of all, I thank the Lord for allowing me to have a relationship with Him at an early age. So He allowed me to go to college. He blessed me to acquire, positive knowledges. And so now I want to be able to apply those knowledges within my Christian business to help the community, but also to eventually expand to 10 African nations. So my goal is to come there. My goal is to come there too, to Nigeria too eventually. But I got to get it started here in America first for credibility. So when I do come to the continent, I don't have to explain myself. People already will know my story. And I'm trying to still reach out to African immigrants here in America to, read my story so that way they could be on board. And for us to, I want to connect with other Christian people just as yourself, to be praying for me and stuff, because this is spiritual warfare at its best. It's been 28 years that I've been doing this, and now I'm trying to take my Christian vision to the next level in terms of making a film in order to generate the capital so I can hire qualified people, so that way I can purchase property here in the inner cities. All of the reason I want to do those things, so that way I can be a blessing to our youth, so that way they don't constantly turn to crime and become career criminals. In other words, I want to invest in those communities. The same thing that we're going to replicate, the same thing in Africa. Teach our people skills, so that way I would say non-black foreigners that's coming over there, we can do those jobs, our own people, you know, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of creating better roads and helping with agriculture and creating solar energy to help make Africa great like it used to be in the golden age. So that's what God called me to do. Anything else you would like to say, Reverend?
Yes, it's a great vision, and I'm happy that you actually started from America. Why? Because America is actually controlling the world. If America is crime free, I believe that a lot of nations will follow. And so if you are starting from America, it's because America actually controls the world. So it's a good step. And if you are coming to Africa also, it's also going to help the whole black community. So it's good to give back to the community. And I think at this moment, this period in time, you don't want to do something like this in order for our youth to come out of crime. Because there's so much crime. The devil is having a good day with people. And we need to know what we can do to make sure we salvage our youth from destruction. Thank you for doing this. Actually, it's a great vision. And I pray that the Lord backs you up. I pray that everyone that is supposed to support, the Lord will open their eyes and they will be able to support you in Jesus' name.
Reverend, now before you go, at least I do have you as a real contact person on the continent in Nigeria. So just please share that video with all of your friends. Just share that on your Facebook page, please. I appreciate that because all I'm trying to do is I want to move from behind the computer, and I thank the Lord that I have a global audience now through the internet. And now this is positive. This is the right way to be. The ball is beginning to roll. So thank you again for calling in. God bless you. All right. I have another caller. Prophetess Margaret Timbu from Zambia. So go ahead and I would like to hear your perspective in terms of the video I just done.
Yeah, I've watched the video and I've gotten something from the video. And the only thing I can say is that we have to focus on God, on the plans of God, because whatever we think or whatever we plan, as long as we trust God, God will surely manifest. God is going to establish our plans. He is going to prevail in everything that we plan. So we need to put everything in God's hands. Add the scripture on it, in every plan that we have, add the scripture on it. And on this one, I can add the scripture which says the plans of God are there to prosper us and to give us hope. This is Jeremiah 29:11. It says the plans of God are there to prosper us, to give us hope. We also have to trust God and believe God for everything that we plan. Like this 2020, we are planning a lot of things to happen in our life, to happen in anything that concerns us, in anything that is happening. So God will surely establish this plan, this project. It surely comes to pass. Amen.
Amen. Anything else you want to say? I'm sorry. Tell my listeners a little bit about yourself.
This is the only sister prophetess Maggie from Zambia.
And what's the name of your church?
Signs and Daughters of Light Ministry, Zambia.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And like I say, I definitely would love to have you to share a sermon on this show.
No problem.
Yeah, whenever the Lord give you a sermon to share with my listeners, then I'm going to invite you back to come on the show and do that. Yeah, it is a little frustrating, I mean, I'm having problems with the paperwork with with the Illinois Secretary of State, but yeah, but that's okay. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I just resubmitted my documentation as well as with the IRS. But once I get that taken care of, then I'm going to open up a business account at my bank, so that way I can solicit angel investors and sponsors, and then they'll know that this is a legitimate business or a film project because I'm using my nonprofit. And those same people that's going to invest in my film project, which I'm trying to obtain $400,000, because I want to make sure I hire qualified, seasoned film crew and quality actors. And also, I'm trying to encourage people that's on my friends list that believe that they have the talents and skills to be in this film or be part of this film project, for those persons to make themselves known. So this is my credibility, and then once I get this film fully funded and made, the proceeds from my film is going to allow me to purchase property here in the city of Chicago, and also will allow me to hire qualified people to help me, to help me run my Christian business. And then, I want to give you and other people that's on the African continent an opportunity to come to America to speak at our live events. That's part one. Part two is for me to also try to hire African immigrants here in the United States to assist me in expanding my Christian business to 10 African nations. That's my goal. And when we come to Africa, our goal is to replicate the same thing that we're doing here in the United States, and that is to invest in those communities that's overlooked. For me, it's the black communities. So that way our young people don't have to be discouraged and, turn to a life of crime and become, career criminals. We don't want that. We want to see stuff better for them. And so that's the Christianity out of me, That's what God called me to move beyond the four walls of the church and make an impact in our economy or the marketplace. But I have to start it here in America first for credibility, because when I come to the African continent, people will know that I mean business. I'm there to help create jobs for our youth, for our African youth. I want to help bring a lot of technology to I guess it's called the rural areas or the interior, outside of the city limits in Africa, to help those communities, the people that's in poverty and stuff like that, to bring, I would say, solar technology, to bring agricultural technology to help feed the people, and also to teach our young people in terms of infrastructure, in terms of building roads and bridges and things like that. So that way you don't have to have non-black foreigners coming in like, the Chinese. You know what I'm saying? So that would be a win-win for Africa, and that would help improve the African economy. Also, I want to apply for dual citizenship. So that's all I'm trying to do, but I gotta get it started here first, So just pray for me. Just keep me in your prayers, and most of all, prophetess, please share this video with all your friends in Africa, okay? That's on your friends list, because I want this stuff to go viral. I'm not. I don't plan on pushing my vision for another 28 years. Forget that. It's going to start now. I want to get this ball rolling. So that's how come, I'm doing this video, and that's how come I did my my podcast, what I'm doing right now, to get my message out.
Okay.
Yes. So thank you for calling. God bless you.
God bless you. So if I connect.
And that will conclude our show.